If we have now, and I understand that there remain a few ifs here, a transcervical method that is well tested and is highly effective and safe to provide, one that can be provided without trespassing in the peritoneal cavity and that does not require general anesthesia, women in the U.S. should have access to that method. In addition to that, I would like to urge the developers of Essure to be rigorous in their post-marketing surveillance, given some of the questions being explored here today, and to pursue simpler methods of placement of the device with the intent to market this device more widely on a global scale in places where permanent contraception is desperately needed by millions of women living in very low resource settings. Thank you.
And we know that many parties in World Health Organization and elsewhere are really interested in the long-term results of this. We know that data will be gathered.
Because of the small amount of data on Essure, it's difficult to compare its effectiveness to other methods that have been in use for many years. And we would like to see language included which explains something along the lines of, while in a study of about 400 women, no one got pregnant in the first year, the study may have been too small to discover a reliable effectiveness rate, and to give some information about how effectiveness changes over time, as seen, for example, in the CREST study.
I think this becomes important for a lot of reasons. There are always new devices that get out on the market for one reason or another. And in the world of technology, this is increasing more and more. And the point is that all of these things have associated with them cost. And who's paying the cost while the patient is the one who is not getting what needs to be gotten, or the information is not coming across, that this device is not as successful across the board of insertion as it has been, for example. I mean, there are all kinds of reasons why this can happen, and I think it's very, very important in today's world of technology, and as things get released, to be much more rigid. I'm not saying rigid, but at least get information for the first 4 or 5 years that you've got these devices out there and you're working with them, so that you know that they're okay, and not wait 25 years to say, hello, we gotta bring this back in.
That said, this is a new device, and as you've discussed, there is not a lot of data available on its use. It's been tested in a few women and not for very long. We recognize the difficulty in doing clinical trials in this area, and we have supported contraceptive approvals based on trials of this size and length. And the focus of our comments today is on what women need to know to make an informed choice for Essure, and especially on the question of how to convey to women the limits of our knowledge in light of the small number of women who have used it in the short time of the trial.
I also want to comment that there was, excuse me, I'm losing my voice, about post-market surveillance and the 5-year follow-up, and there seemed to be some concern that we might have decreases in pregnancy rates, and if so, how would that be known and how would that be communicated? And I just want to clarify that once we had the next year failure rates established, we will be submitting that to the FDA, and certainly if there was any change, we would be required to update our labeling. We wouldn't wait till 5 years to then let patients know that there was a change in the failure rate. There's also some comments or suggestions to have an implant card or a patient ID card, and I just want to clarify that that's already been proposed in the PMA. We did so in the clinical trial as well, and the back of the card carried some statements about not having data on the future procedures such as IVF, intrauterine procedures, etc. And so we're proposing to do that in the commercial setting as well.
press study showing that the rate increases with time. So I guess I'd like someone, if they are interested in, I know someone is, to talk a little bit about the 1 year data and what they think it means.
I think the points well taken that 1 year and phase 2 trial in 2 years, there are no preferences, it's hard to budget for that. But what we've seen this morning, the presentation from the CDC, sort of highlighting the CREST study, such a landmark study, was used as a benchmark for this presentation. The fact that when we look at this slide number 6 that was just pointed out to us, if someone might want to comment on not only does the failure rate increase with time, but it seems to accelerate in the latter portion of the years that are followed here, between, say, 5 years and 10 years. And because of that, I wish there was some kind of remark that somebody could make regarding the likelihood that the success rate with this particular device isn't going to accelerate, its failure rate isn't going to accelerate over time. Because here's 6 other methods, all producing tubal ligation. Failure rate is supposedly due to recannulization, which seems to be a very limited understanding of why that occurs. And with age being such an important factor here, because the younger women are, the greater the chance that they're going to have recannulization, the greater the chance that they're going to be recannulated. Well, at a younger age, when they're still fertile and still able to have conceive. So, I wish I had a better understanding of how this method is going to hold up over the course of time. And with this 5-year follow-up, I wonder if it begs the question of, is that long enough? Because here you have data which is well illustrated by each of the 6 methods, and you can see that it increases between 5 and 10 years.
One, possibility might be, I don't know what Dr. was saying, is maybe that in the post-market follow-up, they consider extending that follow-up period longer when the patient's already on. Since you see this bump, it almost looks like starting at 6 to 7 years, it starts to accelerate again. So, longer follow-up in the patients.
I think we can break, I think there's several points that we're discussing or that need to be looked at. I think number 1 is the issue, which maybe bothers David a little bit if I'm reading things into what he's saying, but it's number 1, is 1 year and some 2-year data sufficient to be able to allow the device to be marketed? And there you have to weigh the short number of years that we have versus, to some extent, the fact that this permanent method has some benefits in terms of ease and safety and other issues. Okay, so that's one issue that maybe we should address. And then, as a second issue is, if that is sufficient information to say, well, we need to go out and gather more to know for sure that we can better counsel our patients that are going to have this, knowing what the information is for the first couple of years, then what needs to be done? And that may be more appropriate for question 8, but what need we do it here as well? What needs to be done and for how long? And what's the need? So maybe we can try to break that up. Does that seem reasonable?
I think it does. Speaking as a consumer rep here, I think when you use the word permanent sterilization, and we are showing a 1-year level of rate compliance and rate doing the job it's supposed to do, I don't see how you can call this permanent. I don't think there's a woman in the audience or here on the panel who would like to buy into that system for just 1 year. It's a little risky if you are going for permanent sterilization.
Well, let me not let you off the hook so easy. So then do you think that more data needs to be gathered in terms of length of efficacy before you want to see the device approved?
Or very, very careful labeling that the permanent applies 1 year.